Yo, what's going on, guys? Let's talk about the second round matchup between the Timberwolves and the Spurs. I want to hear your thoughts before we start. If you just want to hear my predictions, skip to the final 2 minutes of the video and I'll give you them there. There should be timestamps. But besides that, I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win and why? Tell me in how many games and everything else in between. Like, subscribe. It'll help out the channel a ton as we are on the way to 20,000 and I can't get there without your guys' help. So with all that being said, let's get into it and talk about what I think is probably going to be one of the most exciting matchups and already what has been an incredibly very enjoyable to watch playoffs. The second round matchup between the number 6 Minnesota Timberwolves and the number 2 San Antonio Spurs sets up as a contrast between Minnesota's battle-tested physicality and San Antonio's freakishly two-way ceiling. The Timberwolves just knocked off Denver in 6 games despite major injury issues. The Spurs handled Portland in 5 games and entered with the stronger regular seasons, like I guess you would say, performance. They are the better top-end machine, and they have the home court advantage. But Minnesota, back-to-back Western Conference appearances as well. Well, Western Conference Finals appearances, but as well as a team that is playoff tested. San Antonio went 62-20, finished with an NBA's number 4 offense, number 3 defense, and a plus 8.3 net rating. Minnesota went 49-33 with a plus 3.3 net rating, ranking 12th in offensive efficiency and 8th in defense. The Timberwolves can absolutely make this series ugly, especially with Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. Julius Randle and Naz Reid giving them size, rebounding, and matchup flexibility. But the Spurs have more offensive creation available right now, especially with Anthony Edwards out to begin the series. Maybe he comes back sooner rather than later. And Dante DiVincenzo's Achilles injury making him done for the season. Minnesota's first round win over Denver showed real resilience. The Wolves won the series 4-2, averaged 112 points, posted a 52.6 effective field goal percentage, and dominated the glass with almost 28% offensive rebounding rates. Ayo Dosunmu gave them a huge boost, averaging almost 22 points and 4 assists while shooting 61% almost from the field, 45% from 3. 54%, my apology, from 3. Jaden McDaniels also stepped up with 18 points and 7 rebounds, including that 32-point game in Game 6. Still, San Antonio enters with more firepower, a offensive arsenal in their bag. The Spurs averaged 112.4 points in their first round win over Portland, posted a 56.1% effective field goal percentage, shot 41.8% from 3, held Portland to an offensive rating of just 104.2. When Victor Wembanyama was out there, he anchored everything. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks while shooting 58% from the field, 53% from 3. De'Aaron Fox looked great, 20 points, 7 assists. Steph Castle, 20 points, 6 assists. So let's talk about why Minnesota can win. Minnesota has enough size and the defensive personnel to stretch the series. Gobert averaged 11 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks almost in the first round. His 105 defensive rating led the main rotation. Then you got that guy by the name of Jaden McDaniels. He gives the Wolves that long wing defender who can take on tough assignments and still score. Randle averaged 19.7 rebounds, 4 assists, giving Minnesota a half-court facilitating hub who can punish smaller defenders and create when there is a tilted defense either for himself or for his teammates. We got the major wild card in Ayo Dosunmu. If he plays through the calf issues and keeps producing anywhere near his first round level, Minnesota has another creator to offset Edwards' absence till he returns. Yes, the true shooting of 75%, an offensive rating of 145 were a lead against defender against Denver. That's not going to. I mean, if they could get anywhere close to that, that'd be insane. Terrence Shannon also showed some scoring punch. 14 points in limited action, 52% from the field. Minnesota's path is clear, in my opinion. Control the glass, keep the game physical, force San Antonio into turnovers, and win the non-Wembanyama minutes by a lot. That offensive rebounding capability needs to continue in this series. San Antonio has the best player in the series. They have the deeper team. Wembanyama changes every possession on both ends. 4 blocks, 89 defensive rating in the first round gives San Antonio a defensive foundation that Minnesota will struggle to solve without Anthony Edwards. Offensively, Victor Wembanyama shooting 72.3% true shooting and a 65.6% effective field goal percentage makes him the highest, most efficient, high usage player in the matchup. De'Aaron Fox gives San Antonio a late clock creator, a clutch guy that will make Minnesota at times struggle to match. His ability to score from all 3 levels, and then another downhill creator in Steph Castle, and then another downhill creator in Dylan Harper, 13 points, 56% from the field, 50% from 3. You also have the shooting edge, Julian Champagnie shooting 62% from 3 and is a great rebounder. Harper shooting well, 40% from Castle, 53% from Wembanyama, 37% from De'Aaron Fox. As a team, San Antonio shot 41.8% from 3 against Portland. Minnesota shot just under 34% against Denver. We mentioned it already. I know Dosunmu's calf status could swing the series, but he's going to have to play lead creator at times with Edwards out. McDaniels going to have to continue to defend at an elite level and keep scoring enough to punish San Antonio's attention on Randle. Gobert, rebounding, anchoring the defense. His rim protection, offensive rebounding matters even more against Wembanyama and Luke Cornett. Naz Reid, he's going to be someone who comes off the bench. They'll need his spacing, scoring, and just ability to survive when Gobert sits. For San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama is the central matchup problem. He's going to be the one who gives them the clearest advantage. Fox can control the pace, attack Minnesota's pressure, and be the steady initiator that San Antonio needs. I think Castle gives Minnesota something to target. If he limits his mistakes, San Antonio's becomes much harder to guard. And then Champagnie. If Minnesota collapses on Wembanyama, Fox, Castle, Harper, Champagnie's going to punish them. I expect Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert to start the series out. Then a Bones Highland, Terrence Shannon, Kyle Anderson, Jalen Clark, Mike Conley. Like the injuries are going to, until Anthony Edwards returns. Look, this is going to be a tighter, less conventional rotation. If Dosunmu and Edwards plays, look, I think Dosunmu should start because he's the best scorer they had in the first round outside of Edwards. Shannon's going to give them some shooting, and Bones Highland is going to give them some downhill scoring while also being some guard depth. I think Fox, Castle, then Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Victor Wembanyama, then Harper, Cornett, Keldon Johnson, and a mix of Carter Bryant and Harrison Barnes. Their rotation, the Spurs, is much more balanced. Fox, Castle, Vassell, Champagnie, and Wembanyama started throughout the first round, and having Bryant, Barnes, Johnson, Cornett, and Harper as the second unit, it'll be great. And also those 8.7 rebounds in 20 minutes that Cornett had will matter against Minnesota. I predict Spurs in 7. Minnesota has enough defense, rebounding, physicality to push this series deep. The Wolves already beat Denver despite losing key players, and their front court can make San Antonio work. Randle, McDaniels, Gobert, Reid, and Dosunmu give them enough production to win multiple games, but San Antonio has the stronger overall profile and more reliable shot creation. The Spurs won 62 games, finished second in net rating, and opened the playoffs with a 117 offensive rating and 104 defensive rating. Wembanyama gives them the best individual matchup advantage. Fox gives them a proven closer, clutch guy, and then Castle, Harper being the downhill bros. Vassell, Champagnie, Cornett, and the rest of the guys give them enough depth to survive Minnesota's pressure. The Timberwolves make it fight, but the Spurs shooting, rim protection, and home court edge decide Game 7. Spurs win 4-3 in the end. I want to hear your guys' thoughts if you made it to the end of the video. What do you guys think and why? But I think this is going to be definitely an interesting series to say the least. So, yeah, take care. Bye.